What is going on, everybody? Some breaking news today. Jaren Hall is going to be the starter. I'm assuming moving forward, regardless of how he plays, I'm assuming you see him play the last week, I guess.
I would think so, yeah.
Because if he plays bad, I mean, we lose and we have no chance to make playoffs. So then I guess, like, who cares? And then, unless he plays really bad and somehow we still win, then maybe you might be able, maybe they like make a different decision going into that last game or whatever. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Jaren Hall comes in here and, at the very least, takes a decent control of our offense, and we end up beating the Packers this week. But what's your thoughts on the whole Jaren Hall situation, quarterback carousel situation?
I think you might as well just let him finish out the season at this point. I mean, Nick Mullins, as much as I thought he was much more explosive and he led the offense well, we were able to move down the field. We lost these games because of him. We lost these games because of back-breaking turnovers when you needed him to be and the dude's had playing time, right? And this is the reason why he's a backup. He can be explosive. He does have a good enough arm. He can make all the throws, but he's going to make 3 throws a game that could go the other way. And unfortunately for him, he made 4 and they all went the other way this last week. And that's the main reason Kevin O'Connell don't lie. It's like, I thought he led the offense well, he said, but we have to possess the football. We can't do anything like that. So, and unfortunately, that's just kind of where this one was left, is that he, put us in too many bad situations. And now you got to do something at this point. You can't allow 6 turnovers in 2 games and let him keep starting, especially when you have an option, a great unknown in Jaren Hall, who looked good in the limited action we've seen him in. So, yeah, I think it's the right move. And at this point, see what he can do. If you lose, so what? I guess who cares?
Yeah.
I don't want him to. I still want to beat the Packers. I can't. If your team tank and don't want the Vikings to beat the Packers this weekend, I don't know what to tell you. I disagree with you 100%.
Yeah, we need to win this.
We still Bank Stadium and beat you. You just can't do it.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know. As far as if you were going to tank, you wanted to do that to get one of the top quarterbacks, and I just don't think we're in the right spot. Yes, it would be cheaper to trade up or whatever, but at this point, if you have a chance to make playoffs, you might as well go for it. And especially if it is like bringing Jaren Hall in, you want him to succeed. Everybody should want him to succeed. But absolute best case scenario. Oh, by the way, what up, Raymond? Absolute best case scenario. We see something really good in him to the point where maybe I don't know what we would have to see to be like, I don't think we need to draft a quarterback early now, but you might see enough where you're like, maybe we still take one early, but we don't really need another. We feel like the Sam Howell situation from last year, where like maybe we feel comfortable enough going into the season next year with Jaren Hall and maybe another rookie quarterback or whatever. I don't know what the situation would be like. That one seems a little slim. If anything, I would see you'd be like, I don't know. Because if Jaren Hall looks really good, it doesn't really make sense to bring back Kirk Cousins or anybody else. But do you feel like you can be confident that he's going to be that guy? Or you maybe give him that shot next year if he looks really good. And then, if he doesn't, then you go into that draft and grab a quarterback or something like that. But if somehow, some way, Jaren Hall was able to be the guy, obviously that would save us a draft pick, drafting a quarterback, or even draft picks if we were going to trade up for a quarterback. So you should want him to succeed, but it'll be interesting. Obviously, chances of him being the guy we'd want him to be is slim, but I think as far as him being the best quarterback for our team to win between him, Dobbs, and Mullins, I think that's definitely possible.
Yeah. So I don't know. But against this Packers team, though, I do think the first step should be establishing the run, because they are not very good against the run, haven't been all year. And with the recent emergence of Ty Chandler, I think you definitely need to give him more opportunity, especially more than you saw last game. Coming off that huge game against the Bengals, I believe he only had 17 yards rushing. We barely tried to run the ball at all. So I think O'Connell's going to go back to being a little bit more balanced against the Packers, especially with a rookie quarterback. Like, you want to possess the football, you want to control the time, of possession, and if you establish the running game, it's only going to open up passing game for Jaren Hall. And who knows who he's going to have out there catching passes? But we know Justin Jefferson's still going to be out there. So you got to get Justin Jefferson and Ty Chandler both involved in this game early, and you got to just keep feeding them the ball.
Yeah, I think that's definitely. I mean, that's what we got to do if we're going to win this game on offense. And as far as defense, I'm not really afraid of the Packers offense. I mean, with Watson injured for a few weeks, they've lost a couple games recently. They almost lost to the Panthers, who are the worst team in the NFL right now, last week. And this week, they're not going to have Watson back. They have had Aaron Jones back the last couple weeks, and that is something that we do have to watch, and someone who does play well against us a lot. But that's kind of all they have. If Reed plays, he has been a pretty good rookie this year, and he's kind of a Swiss Army knife and does a little bit of everything. I do think you have to watch him as well, but he is still a rookie wide receiver that I wouldn't like. He's not an Addison even or anything like that, but he's still pretty good. And I think if we clamp him and if we can take care of Jones, I just don't know who Jordan Love is really going to go to after that. And then, put pressure on him and hope he makes some mistakes, makes some overthrows. And, we can win that turnover battle. Because if we win the turnover battle, I think we win this game. If they have more turnovers than us, I think we win.
Well, and so far in Kevin O'Connell's career as head coach, I mean, that winning percentage is much better if you're at least even in turnovers. So this year we've seen it. It's just the biggest issue with this team outside of injuries, and even with all the injuries, we still win these games without turnovers. So, I mean, and I think Jaren Hall learned a good lesson, not even just from an injury perspective, but just from an overall playing perspective, that you don't need to try to do too much in one play early on in the game. And he kind of mentioned that with the Arizona or with the game against Atlanta, where he said he tried to, score his touchdown, obviously, but it was first down for him. It would have been a goal to go situation anyway from the one. And he said, I just got to make better decisions. Can't put myself or the ball at risk in those scenarios. And I just got to take it one play at a time. And I think it was a good learning lesson for him to just take what you can get and move on to the next play.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Don't play hero ball like a lot of young guys want to do.
Yeah. And another positive thing, I mean, it is nice that he's already tried, at the very least, like he's already prepared for a game already, and he's already started a game and went into a game with like whatever you got to do to get ready for it. But it's got to be a lot nicer to kind of get the first game out of the way in that sense, as from a prep standpoint. So at least like that's out of it. Like I know this isn't his first start, but you can almost feel like this is going to be. It feels kind of like it's going to be his first start because he only got to play one drive. But at least he was able to, go into the game. And it was nice to see him go into that last game and have a good drive. Unfortunately, didn't end it the way he wanted to, but hopefully it's a similar situation where he comes in and he looks pretty good early. And again, just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. It's just a big question mark. You don't really know what you have. You always kind of knew what like the whole Dobbs situation was exciting for a second there because you felt like, I mean, you kind of knew what he was, but then maybe there was just something that was untapped with him because the way he handled the Atlanta game in the first half of that Saints game never really materialized. He kind of ended up being what you were expecting. And then same with Nick Mullins. You kind of knew what he's going to be, and I guess that's exactly what happened. Yeah. But Jaren Hall just kind of has that question mark, like you don't know. So, I mean, it might not be good. Who knows for sure, but hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
Anything else on this game?
Nope, I think we kind of covered it. Just go win. That's all you got to do. Go win the game.
All right. Well, let's do some prize picks here. Not going to do any Draftkings today just because we have Sunday night game. So really no reason to do that. Even though there's tonight's game, and it is fantasy championship for anybody who is in that, but
twice. I got two of them.
Yep. Casey has two.
And I'm nervous about them both.
All right. So pick'ems. So I'm going to actually right away. I like Garrett Wilson receiving up here. I've had a couple other people tell me some of them that they think is going to be the right picks. Some people have under on Pickens. This one scares me a little bit just because I feel like Pickens is talented. He hasn't showed it this year other than the last game with Mason Rudolph. It's one of those things like, was it the quarterback the whole time situation? Like, is Mason Rudolph going to give it to him? I don't know, because any other games this year, you would easily expect Pickens to go under, but we're going to play what, the pros kind of think, and they kind of think Pickens is going to go under in this game. Another one they had was DJ Moore, which they have pulled out for whatever reason for him going under. Another one is Chris Olave. They think he will go over 66.5, which I might think, because I do think that Tampa Bay and the New Orleans game, it could be a surprising high scoring game. which when it comes to these, I kind of like to find the high scoring games. And then, you can expect more yards, obviously, or you could pick the low scoring games and then kind of go under on those. So we kind of have to go around and pick a lot of different teams this week because the only player we have for the Vikings is Justin Jefferson and is on yards. Wait a second. Oh, wait, this is quarterback. There is Jordan Love, but a lot of people think Jordan Love is going to beat this, but so I'm just not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. So receiving yards. Let's go to JJ this week. Number 1 wide receiver. Oh, I do want to mention that it does look like there's a chance that we do see Jordan Addison and Mekhi Blackmon this week, which would be huge. But no matter what, I mean, this guy should be getting the ball a lot. Do you think Justin Jefferson goes over or under 78.5?
For fantasy purposes, I need him to go over, so I'm taking that.
Taking it. All right. We'll take the over on that. All right. So what do we got? We got 4 here. No, 4 here. Let's pick a couple other. I like the receptions. High scoring games. I think the Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs could be one of them. So I want to go check out what do they have Mahomes at? 271 yards. He hasn't been really throwing too much lately. But do you think he could do that in this game against the Bengals? I wish they had like a stats thing on this page.
Tough one, man. That's a real tough one when it comes to Mahomes because his receivers have been atrocious as of late.
Not great. And Kelsey's even been kind of mid.
Yeah.
You don't have to go that direction, I guess. If we were going to go see even Derek Carr, I don't love 241. You could, though. Baker Mayfield's been lighting show.
Baker's been putting up a lot of touchdowns. The yardage has kind of hovered right around that.
Hey, what's the update on Cooper? Did you ever find that out?
Yeah, he is out.
He's out?
Yep.
So how about we go under on Joe Flacco here? Without Amari Cooper?
TDs to David and Njoku. We can go under that all day. I don't care.
Yeah, I think you will. Now I'm liking him under without Amari Cooper. So if Amari Cooper is out, that's why Elijah Moore's in here now for fantasy score 9. I don't know. I'm not taking a chance on that.
How you feeling about David and Njoku? Where do they got him? I saw his name on there somewhere. What's he got?
That's a good question. 55 receiving yards, fantasy, 8.5 targets, 5.5 receptions. I mean, receptions could be good. I wonder if they brought this up. But that could be good. I mean, without how has he been doing from a reception standpoint?
Let me tell you.
Since you have him,
let's see the last few games here. 6, 10, 6, 2, 6, 7, 6, 4, 4. So
I'll take it without Amari Cooper. Oh wait, we already have 6.
Oh
wait, no, I'm taking out Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You want? I mean, this is a fantasy bias. I can tell, but
also with no Amari Cooper, like
it does make sense.
It's gonna open up the pass, open up the field for him. So
let's do it. Place entry here. Boom. All right, let's do the pick'ems. So we got that. Boom, we'll do that. And then I know you have your fantasy stuff. Were you still what final decisions were you making on that?
Basically just one receiver in one and my flex in the other.
Yeah, so last week was not pretty. We started off hot in this game and then went down from here, right down from here. We took this the 11.5. Both of them would have lost. I think it was 11.5 for them, and then also with that Chargers Buffalo game, and that wouldn't have hit either. All of these it was a mess. So let's see what we got in this game. New York Jets versus Cleveland. I don't love that, especially with Amari Cooper's gone. So I don't know. That's kind of a toss up to me. Detroit could win this.
They're favoring Dallas by almost
6.5
touchdown. That's nuts.
Well, it's one of those things. Is Dallas either just destroys you, or it's close, or they lose.
Home too than they are on the road.
But I wouldn't mind taking a chance on Detroit here. But I wish it was like 7 instead of 6.5.
Yeah.
Vegas versus Indianapolis. That's a tough one. Chicago versus Atlanta.
They're all tough at this point.
Tough.
Jacksonville's looked awful the last few weeks.
Yeah, and Carolina's been a little bit better.
I mean,
This
Tampa's
is a
look
tough
good, but
one.
New Orleans is look.
I mean, Philly should be able to do this, but they screwed us last week.
Yeah.
But they should be
14,
able to do that.
San Fran's favored by 14.
That's a little bit too much.
I'd give the Rams by a touchdown, wouldn't
Even though
you?
we need them to lose, but I do think
Yeah.
that's what you said last week, and we got that one right. I don't love this. New England can be stingy. They already beat Buffalo this year. I'm pretty sure, didn't they?
Yeah.
This game could be interesting.
I mean,
Depending on a
Stroud
Stroud's
playing?
Right. I don't know. I have a feeling he probably is. Otherwise, I don't think it would be that like that. Miami and Baltimore.
I would almost
what?
I would almost give the edge to Baltimore there, but
After they definitely could. But
CJ Stroud has cleared concussion protocol.
No, maybe we just rock with Houston here.
I like it.
Pittsburgh, this game, we could be very biased and go with Pittsburgh here. I mean, if we're going to pick Rams to win, then I say we be biased as hell and pick Pittsburgh to win, and then we go into this game.
And the last one, of course,
Vikings. Damn, we're favored. Damn, this is like the first time we've been favored in a while.
We're the home team, and we're only favored by 1.5.
And the Packers suck, so... Broncos that's interesting with Wilson bench now.
I don't want to touch that.
Kansas City should beat them, but who knows with them? They're all over. That's a little bit too much. I think Denver could do this. I mean, without Justin Herbert, but we need one more?
Yeah.
What else were we looking?
I mean,
as interesting this game. We could take a chance on Detroit here.
Yeah, to cover
6.5. I mean, that's pretty steep.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. Boom.
All right.
All right. Well, there we have it with those. So what were you talking about with your fantasy team?
All right, let's see here. So basically, I mean, I kind of have it decided. This is my big league, my 12 team. So here's what I'm rocking. Hurts, Breece Hall, Kyren Williams, Justin Jefferson, Njoku, James Conner, and 49ers defense, to me, are all locks.
Damn, you totally skipped over Jaden Reed.
Well, I know, but that's because that's my question. That's the question mark. Because all the other ones I feel like are locks. Like Jalen Hurts.
And your flexes, you said your flex as well?
Yeah. Like Breece Hall, I mean, I get it, playing a tough defense, but you can't. I just don't see how coming off the week he had.
No, I'm playing him.
Take him. Kyren Williams must start. Justin Jefferson, I get it. It's tough with a rookie quarterback, but Justin Jefferson is an absolute must start. David Njoku, he's my only tight end anyway. He's been on fire. James Conner, yes, tough defense in Philadelphia, but I mean, if you look at what he's got going on these last couple weeks here, I mean, this is what is rushing attempts 12, 14. Before the bye week, 25 rushes, were receptions, and
he had 5 receptions for like 30-something yards.
Yeah, 5 receptions, 3 the week before. So, I mean, he's.
What do you have on your bench?
Bench wise, Addison, Najee Harris, which I ain't touching that backfield.
I'd rather have Connor.
Isaiah Likely. I mean, I guess I do have another tight end, and Isaiah Likely's been playing well, but you can't take out Njoku with the chemistry him and Flacco have, especially now that there's no Amari Cooper there.
Yeah.
So,
I would say, obviously, I'd rather have Jordan Addison instead of than Reed, but Reed gets fed, and you don't know what's going to happen with Hall and Jordan, and if Jordan Addison's even going to play, and Justin Jefferson. I mean, you just imagine they're going to try to go to Justin Jefferson as much as possible, but Jordan Addison could end up being a stud. But Jaden Reed without Watson there, and if Wicks doesn't play, I mean, you kind of feel like they're going to have to feed him as much as possible, even though we're going to sniff it out. I mean, you're going to win because it'd be like 8 catches for like 20 yards, but that's still some decent points, you know?
I mean, but then like also, if you're looking at it as well here.
Hey, what up, Sodak?
What's on, Sodak? If Jaden Reed doesn't play and those other guys still don't play, then Romeo Doubs is kind of a must start because he's going to be there. He's going to be getting most of the targets.
Only guy.
And because last week when those other guys missed action, he had 4 catches for 79 yards and a touchdown. So
yeah, I probably Reed's the safe choice. Maybe not the best choice. No matter what, right now, Addison, you don't even know if he's going to play.
Yeah, and even if he does, I think
this is how I would. This is the line
I'm going with. And
Yeah.
then as for my other one,
Sodak, how you feeling about Jaren Hall getting the start?
this is what I got rocking here. And this is so my flex is it's all what happens with Josh Jacobs, but he didn't practice again today. But look at these. This is just tough right here. This is
Yeah, Gibbs with
tough
Dallas,
matchup.
James Conner against Philly.
But again, like Matthew Stafford he's been playing so well, you can't bench him, right? But then here's the other thing: the guy I'm going against,
especially against Giants,
right? The guy I'm going against in my other league has Puka Nacua, so I'm scared of that. Like that's tough, and it's gonna be tough. But then Jahmyr Gibbs, he's been so dynamic, you can't bench him. James Conner, kind of same thing we were talking about in the other one. Amon-Ra, obviously. Mike Evans it worries me because he never plays well against New Orleans. Because he's I don't know what Lattimore has on him, but he just does. But he's been just so heavily used by Baker this year. I can't justify taking him out.
These options are booty cheeks. What up, Mateo?
And then
been a minute, Mateo.
Yeah. Florida, Josh Jacobs. And this is my bench. Jamar Chase. So Jamar Chase, I might sneak in there if he plays.
If he plays. You have to, because with Kansas City, it could be high scoring.
Yeah, but then who do I pull? Probably Josh Jacobs. Oh, Josh Jacobs might not even play. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, these options aren't booty cheeks. These options got me into a fantasy championship game. So
I mean, right this week they're kind of booty cheek. Just the matchups are booty cheeks.
They are, but I mean, but let's be like which one of these guys would you not keep in your lineup?
I would probably rather have Chase than Mike Evans. Technically, you would always want to, but Mike Evans has been a stud this year.
But I mean, like,
I know he's been
27, 15, the 1.8, whatever, 29, 25, 15, 26. Like,
yeah,
I can't. I just can't. I can't justify it.
Yeah, see what happens with Cook if Josh Jacobs doesn't play. Man, you got to go with Chase. That's crazy to have Chase on your bench. But DJ Moore too. I mean, obviously he's a stud. You had some good wide receivers in this league.
I did. This is honestly the reason I was 6 and 8. I mean, I paid attention, but I just kind of.
So you're gonna go wait in your other league? Did you have Justin? Did you not have Sam Laporta in that league?
Nope. Just I had Njoku and Isaiah Likely, and I just can't. A, I'm not playing a tight end in my flex, and B, I'm not.
Yeah, I'd keep an eye out there. Maybe even go if Chase plays. I don't know. It depends on how healthy he is, I guess. Out of them two, you might. I just think Kansas City's probably going to be high scoring, and Chase is going to be the guy. I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly think I go Chase over Mike Evans probably if he plays. Man, you might even. I mean, even St. Brown's a hard one, but man, it's just you hate that matchup. That's a hard decision though.
Yeah, you don't bench the HOF and Mike Evans. It's Jacobs that I would bench. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
Especially because who knows, with a quad injury and being a running back, he'd come back one snap, take one bad step, and
the Hall of Famer and Mike Evans
hurt himself again. So I mean, yeah, if Jamar Chase plays, that's probably the play. But
yeah, but the only thing with him is and it's the same thing with Justin Jefferson. Obviously, I love Justin Jefferson, but the college they came from, it just is the worst college that I hate. Don't you think?
What? Which one? Oh,
the college.
LSU.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it's called. LSU. Yeah. That's it. That's like the only reason why I wouldn't start Chase.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Just kidding, Mateo. Just kidding. If you're watching,
there's some tough calls in there, but at the end of the day, I think I just gotta. I think the I don't know. My rule is just kind of stick with what got you there. So
yeah. I don't know, the Chase thing. That's gonna be hard. Deciding. It'll be interesting if Jacobs plays, but deciding between. Yeah, you heard it. Oh yeah, so bad. Unlike Michigan State.
But
what do you mean, Michigan State? We like the Gophers.
Roll the boat.
The Gophers, just like nothing. I'm gonna become a bandwagon, dude. I'm going to Texas. I'm gonna have my buddy move to Texas, and he became a Texas fan.
Longest bowl winning streak belongs to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Seven straight bowl wins, and
it's always against really good teams.
Hey, they had Auburn, and their Auburn was good. They won the Quick Lane Bowl against Bowling Green. Avenge the loss from last year,
Right.
They're keeping homegrown talent in the number one player in the state of Minnesota from the small town of Esco.
Where lame people come from.
Hey You know.
Oh, I'm just firing
Yeah.
shots today.
No.
I got a choice. But yeah, man. I don't know. Those lineups look pretty solid, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else with the one of them. Like, yeah, the matchups.
ASA, you're gonna have to look.
Matchups are actual ass, but like it's one of those. I'm like I can't justify pulling any of those anybody other than my flex spot.
right,
So.
right.
Because I think that's what I did most of the year. It was Amon-Ra, it was Jamar Chase, and it was Mike Evans. Like he was my flex. Like those are my 3 receivers all year long. And then I just stuck with Gibbs and Josh Jacobs until he got hurt. No,
My main league, I made playoffs. I didn't make the championship. In a dynasty league I'm in, I made the championship. But the thing with that one though is like you have so many spots that you can fill, and then your bench players. I had Tank Dell, which sucks, but your bench players are like people who don't really get to play. So it's like it's pretty easy to make a decision because it's so deep. I mean, it's keeper leagues. There's so many players in there. I mean, you're holding on people that like last year we picked Kyron Williams, and we had him on sleeper on. You're allowed to have like a
taxi squad.
Yeah, taxi squad.
Yeah.
So we had just had Kyron Williams on our taxi squad, and without even really knowing how good he'd be, I never even really looked into him much last season. Or yeah, we didn't even look at running backs really. And then all of a sudden, now he's probably a top 5 running back moving forward. In fantasy.
Right.
So yeah, so we hit a big one on that one. So that's pretty good. But
yeah, Mateo, I'm definitely Minnesota everything.
LO Gophers, that's right. Everything. Oh, that's right. Minnesota, everything, right? Also, hate to say it, most SEC schools have most of their starters not playing in those useless bowl games. Like LSU pulled 18 starters. Me, I am
want to go to the
Minnesota draft. Everything, but I feel like I'm kind of a college free agent. Like even right now, I don't know. I need something. Like the Gophers, it just ain't it for me. I don't know. Like, yeah, they're the main college in Minnesota, but for some reason it wasn't like if I went to the school, I'd feel different. I don't know. So I don't know, it's just different for me, especially, you know, and I'm not a big hockey person, but still UMD is like a legit University of Minnesota Duluth is D1 legit championship level hockey team, and the Gophers are like one of their biggest rivals. So it's like for our main, I'm going to be more of a fan of the Bulldogs before I'm the fan of the Gophers.
And it's crazy. There's like Gopher fans hate Bulldog fans, or Bulldog fans hate Gopher fans, and the other way around. Like my old boss was a huge Bulldog fan. He hates the Gophers with a passion.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's hard for me to be like, I'm just going to like them for football and other stuff. I don't know. It's hard for me. So I feel like I'm a free agent. I just don't know. I feel like I'll have to like wherever I end up settling down, maybe like whatever state, maybe I'm going to be like, no, I'm going to pick this school. Actually, when we're after Boston, we're going to Raleigh, North Carolina. And that's where both Duke and
Red River rivalry? Is that what it is?
So yeah, I think so, right? Is that what it's called? North Carolina.
Let's see.
Which will be interesting. The sucky thing that it'd been sweet to be there and being able to see Drake May. That'd been cool. And then now Riley Leonard is leaving Duke to go to where is he going? Notre Dame.
Oh, Tobacco Road. That's what it is. Red River rivalry, something else. Oh, I think Red River
you are
UNC Oklahoma.
Fan. Yeah, Oklahoma, Mateo, were you around Raleigh? That's where we're going to Raleigh after Boston. My wife's traveling there, so I don't know. I've said it before on here.
Texas, Oklahoma. That's what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, we're leaving here from Boston. We're gonna go to Raleigh, North Carolina for a while. We're gonna like settle down a little bit. I don't know how it's gonna roll out, whatever. But so yeah, it'll be that rivalry. I don't know I don't know. I don't like. Maybe I'll root for one of those teams next year. But like I said, like you do lose Drake May, who is the exciting player for them, and then Riley Leonard's looked pretty good. He would have been the exciting player for Duke. But now he's going to Notre Dame.
Duke got, but didn't Duke get the Texas backup?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the Texas backup transferred to
Tobacco Road rival.
Yeah,
it's UNC, Duke, and NC State. They're all walking distance between each other's colleges.
And then the Red River is Texas and Oklahoma.
Poor NC State. They're probably what up? Let's go for life, Barber. NC State are probably like the one no one cares about.
What was his name? The Texas transfer quarterback. Someone's gonna have to.
So yeah, because there was the guy that was behind.
Malik something. That it is.
He was behind. What's his face? Who's Texas guy that Ewers, and then it was Peyton or Arch Manning came in.
Malik Murphy. That's his name. Malik
Yeah,
Murphy.
the state. I know the basketball is. I know like what Duke NC game or UNC games are huge, like huge.
Yeah,
Like, don't they cost like $1,000 to get a seat or something for those games?
probably something like that. Yeah, they're
Yeah, that'd be cool. Going to a Duke UNC game would be cool, or even a Duke game in general because they always have really good prospects. I don't know what their prospects look like next year, but it'd be an interesting one. It'll be kind of cool to go out there. But yeah, that's how I am. I don't know. I have faith. All professional teams, I'll always be Minnesota. I think forever. But college, I'm leaving that up in the air. Like maybe I have a kid someday and they go to a college or something. Duck Fook. Yeah, I'm sure you're not a fan. But yeah, no, I need to figure out why. Like my buddy, he's from Minnesota. He actually lived in the cities, and I was just talking about it, but he moved to Dallas, and then he's just like, know what? I'm gonna jump on the Texas bandwagon because they're moving to the SEC. They just got Arch Manning, and now
great year to be a Texas
yeah, I know. So he picked on the perfect year, and this is even before the Archie Manning stuff started.
And they still have Quinn Ewers, who I think is probably going to end up being a pretty high pick next year, since if he ends up staying in college, which it sounds like. Which I mean, I get it. If you're a guy and you like, because if you win the national title, that's just gonna. And if you're the reason for it, and you have a really good game in the in the playoff, like,
I'd leave.
You're going to go into next year being a potential top 5 pick.
Instead of
if he looks really good. Late mid, maybe late.
I think the only thing I'd worry about, which he can't worry about this because you got to have a different mindset. But the only thing I would worry about is just the fact that everybody and their moms are gonna probably, if you're playing bad, everybody's gonna be calling for Manning.
But he's not. He's played well all year long, so I don't think
he's had his up and downs, isn't he?
I mean, his worst game was that Oklahoma game. From what I saw, he played pretty poorly, but. Yeah. But outside of that, he's been pretty solid.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, I know that's crazy that they were able to just put all the hype with the sex stuff and everything, and now they're in the
Yeah. All I know is the Gophers. They had very small chance. Like they could have won the Big Ten West. They weren't running the Big Ten outright, obviously, because of Michigan and Ohio State. But there's I feel bad. Like. I'm eventually guessing they're probably going to end up splitting up the Big Ten and just leaving it that way. Because I mean, come on now, you're expecting teams like Rutgers, Iowa, Northwestern, Minnesota, with not only Michigan and Ohio State, but toss in Washington, you toss in UCLA and USC. Come on now, that's just unfair.
I kind of think it's cool that they're doing that, just because you can pay more attention to those good teams.
Well, right, but also for those teams that aren't so good, it's just you're
adding for Minnesota,
which kind of is what it is.
For Minnesota, it sucks. They should be in the. I mean, you might as well just bring them back down to D, or not back down, but bring them down to D2 at this point. No. We'll see it. That's what sucks. I wish it was a school people. It's kind of people actually wanted to go there. I'm just not gonna. I can't. I don't want no. I want to be a little bit of bandwagon if I can, a little bit. I don't want to picking the Gophers. It's the Gophers. It would be awesome if they were ever really good, but it's hard to imagine a time where people want to go and be a Gopher, good players.
Yeah,
I mean, we can't even get Chet Holmgren to become a Gopher.
Being a spot, just eventually, yeah. I don't know. Because I mean, I could see why homegrown kids stay there, obviously, and then obviously if you go if you pick them over Ohio State, you're going to get a better chance to play and show what you can do. A lot less competition at those smaller schools, but also you're not on the national stage, so you do got away. But now with the Gophers, though, at least they're getting draftable players. The Gopher players are going to the draft and getting.
Yeah, who's that safety this year?
Yep, which helps them to an extent, obviously, but still, it's not like we're getting any top end offensive. So if you're a receiver, you probably don't want to come here because it's we're not a passing team. If you're a running back, sure, but
crazy thing is all you need is it's crazy. You just not all you need, but if you got a stud quarterback, if there's a homegrown Minnesota quarterback and they pick the Gophers, that's what Chet. That's what I'm saying. Chet screwed the Gophers basketball team by not picking them when he's the best player to come out of Minnesota forever.
Right. But then, I mean, but then you got What was I saying?
Hey, what's going on, Catch?
We got like the top. We got like the one of the top prospects out of Arkansas was supposed to be a pretty good quarterback. He's probably not starting until next year because they got the New Hampshire transfer coming in this year. He's going to be their starter in 2024. But
a good
I don't know.
Coach can get players, doesn't matter what school. That's another thing is we'd have to get a really good coach too.
Oh, PJ Fleck's the right coach.
But do you think
I
know a lot of people like him, but I mean, you're going to have to get a big name. I feel like you're going to need a big name coach to either you're already a really big name coach like Saban or something, and you'd be able to bring players that way. Otherwise, like, yeah, if you're a coach for the Gophers and you make them relevant, like very relevant.
Right. Well,
but
that's the thing though. But that's kind of the problem with schools like Minnesota, especially now with the NIL stuff. Because that's PJ even mentioned that. He said if we don't, if we don't get, like he's basically begging the boosters for money because if we don't get enough money, these players are going to go because they're going to get better opportunities elsewhere. Right. So that makes it hard as well. But a lot of times these smaller schools are like stepping stones. Like he comes here and we win, let's say we win a big bowl game. That's why he keeps getting these raises because it's only going to make him more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's only going to make other schools want to bring him in. So, I mean, that's kind of what these smaller Big Ten schools are. It's like stepping stones for these coaches to get to bigger and better jobs. And the only way to stop that is to pay them more money.
My little brother's going to Georgia for college. They have a good sports. So that's what he's doing is sports. He wants to go there for something to do with sports broadcasting. You got to make him. You have to have him make a channel, dude. You got to have to make a channel. This would be like, I don't know if he does already. I know he's been in our stuff before, but this would be like the best way to start if that's what you want to do. Obviously, look at JJ Vikings. He's doing it from freaking age 13.
he had Kyle Sloter on today.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
JJ, he had Kyle Sloter on his show today?
Yep.
Oh, dang. That's cool. I'll have to go check that out. I did not know that.
I saw it on Twitter today when I was scrolling.
We're planning on... Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Definitely do that. That'd be awesome. Especially for him, that'd be great for him. Broadcasting was funny. He's also... Yeah, that's a hard one, man. Going to Georgia and being at LSU. He's going to have to change. I mean, he's going to probably change. He's going to have to change teams. You can't just... I don't know. If you go to the college, I can't imagine liking another team and then going to college if they have a big sports program. Like we went to UWS. There wasn't shit there for us to like.
There was nothing.
I don't give a shit about anything. They had like
volleyball and basketball and
a D4 hockey team or something. Get a coach like Missouri coach. He can recruit everywhere. I have a degree in TV and radio broadcasting. Dude, heck yeah. I know. I wonder. I never even thought of anything like that.
That doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. What's that? Same, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, business degrees, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You pretty much are supposed to like learn your own business and stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? A lot of the fucking degrees out there. It's like, unless you want to have a passion towards it. Now he already said he is LSU. All right, we'll see. Root for the Dogs, but not when they play SC. We'll see. He says that now. He's going to
meet a really good-looking chick at Georgia, and he's going to change his ways.
Oh, dude, immediately.
Georgia fan.
There's no way.
I only date Georgia guys.
All it takes, if you go to Georgia and you're with all your buddies in your college and you guys go to a Georgia game and they win and the party's insane afterwards, and like Casey said, there's a young lady there, attractive young lady there, game over. He's a Georgia fan.
Bulldogs. Only Georgia Bulldog fans. You're changing.
Speaking of that, did you see Theo Vaughn when he was on the college game day show with Pat McAfee and stuff? Well, I forgot who Georgia was playing. I think they were playing maybe Florida State that game. I forgot what it was. But he started doing the whole Georgia song thing, and then it was all Georgia. It was in Atlanta, I think, and all the Georgia fans and stuff were in there singing with him. And then at the end, he picked Florida State. It was pretty funny.
I did not see that,
dude. Theo, you know who Theo Vaughn is?
I recognize
the comedian.
Name. It's gonna be. I'm gonna feel stupid. I'll look him up and be like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, you'll probably recognize him. He's like becoming really big now.
Okay, yep.
It's hilarious because he picked Florida State, and he's like I don't know, the way he just says the most random shit. It's hilarious. I was a Notre Dame fan before going to USC. Hey, see, and then now you're a USC fan.
Yeah, I mean, 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 I
See, you're gonna. I feel like when it comes to your colleges, you're going to change. If you go to the college, there's no way you just stick with an old, because why? You don't have, just because you live in the state or you lived in the state or anything like that, but going to your a college, like there's something way deeper. I feel like if I would have went to a college that had a big team, I would have easily picked that team in a heartbeat. That's what I needed to happen. I almost wish I would have went to a different college just for that reason, just so I could be like, know what, I'm going to make this my team now forever.
Yeah, but unfortunately, if you want to go to a school with a big time football program, you're paying big time money to go.
Yeah,
there.
we went the.
You ain't paying $8,000 a semester like we paid at UW.
Yeah, we went the cheap route.
Like we paid at UWS.
Yeah, which gives us the same thing as these other expensive schools would have, unless we went for something specific.
Yeah,
like specifically different.
You just don't get to go see the big time football games and stuff. We had a football field that the high school would use, and not even the college. Like, wasn't there like? I know like they just said like there's something with funding for the football program, but didn't they get shut down for like a hazing violation or something like that?
I don't even know. I don't think there was when we were there. There wasn't
any the football team, and then they eventually just cut funding to it.
Probably, yeah. It wasn't great. There were some hockey players there that were solid, but that's about it. And it was like more of the local hockey players and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy. Wish I didn't mess my knee up. I would have actually played at LSU with Patrick Peterson. Dude, that would have been so sick. I know. I can't imagine that. I never got that deep into sports or I wish I did. I just never really took it serious. I wish I did.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of people feel when they're older is they kind of wish they would have.
Wish
I'd have been in better shape. Wish I'd have been more confident. Wish I'd have either learned an instrument or played sports. One of the two.
Instrument. Yeah, I'm not too much. Sports is the big one. That's like the biggest regret I have. But it really comes down to like what Casey said. It's like confidence and stuff. Like I just didn't have a lot of my friends didn't really play sports too.
Yeah, mine was split. Mine was I had a group of friends that did and a group of friends that didn't.
Like I had friends that played hockey, but I was like, I don't want to play hockey. Yeah. But I do wish I did.
If I was the person I was now and more in shape in high school, I probably would have been a lot better.
Oh, dude, I would have totally tried. As soon as high school ended, I was like, fuck, I should have fucking played sports. And ever since then, I'm like, I'm never passing up on anything again because that shit sucks. Like, obviously, we have a podcast that's all about talking about sports. But whatever. It's all good. Hindsight is always 20/20.
Or as RG3 said, hindsight's 50/50.
Freaking RG3, that dude's a character.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all good. That's why we like going forward. You don't let that shit stop you now,
Mm-hmm. So there you go. You got sports betting, you got Vikings predictions, and you got life lessons here from two guys who are a little over 30 and me who's 30 in like 3 months. So
yeah,
what do we know?
Dang, you turned 30 in 3 months. You're 29 right now? Dang, I thought you were 28.
Nope, 29.
Dang, the big 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you do? But anything else?
I don't
think
so,
segued into college football and other things for the last like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Nothing really other than just the Vikings are going to take down this Packers team that is not looking very good. Almost lost to the Panthers, and JAREN Hall is going to step up to, I don't know to how big of an extent, but I think he's going to step up to be a serviceable quarterback, at least compared to the other two that we've been using. So hopefully, I mean, this is hopeful.
Yeah. So,
but yeah,
Vikes win 24-21. Keep the playoff hopes alive.
I'm excited. Yeah. I know, Catch. I know you were. I know you've got to feel surprised at least at this point. Maybe not like towards the end of this week, but I know you were saying that that you were just not expecting KOC to make the change, which I wasn't sure either. After this week, I mean, after the fourth interception
on Monday, I was
after the rumors came out, it was like, okay, he might actually do it. But yeah, it is good to see because I want to see what we have in him. We need to see what we have in
and you get to see a little bit how Kevin O'Connell worked on developing a young quarterback.
Right. That too.
A blank canvas. And I mean, if we want this team to draft a new one, this is what we need to see. We need to see if whether or not he's the guy,
Right.
hopefully he is, but.
And that's what's crazy about it is that, yeah, man, it's going to be relieving because I did not really want to go into this off season and be like, we still have Jaren Hall, but we don't know what we have in him. At least like even right now, like who knows what we'll really see in him. Obviously he still is a rookie. You can't expect him to come and light the world on fire, even if he has potential to be a good player, but you do get like a sense of what you think this player could be.
I mean, and you're still in the hunt for the playoffs. So it's a high leverage game.
Hey, let's go for the live barber.
High leverage, must win, Sunday Night Football, national television,
Packers.
New Year's Eve.
Packers.
It is everything all in one for a young quarterback. And O'Connell's putting him in there in a tough spot. But I mean, this is, what do they say? No pressure, no diamonds, right?
Yep.
This is one of those scenarios.
This is the kind of stuff that we always want Kirk Cousins to come in and win these types of games. and then he usually didn't.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Hall can do that as a rookie.
See, he needs to figure it out. But yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be fun though.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm
excited to see what we cook up.
But yeah,
I think the offense has been solid the last 2 weeks. I've liked what I've seen, but it's just the turnovers are absolutely backbreaking. You can't have them, and that's a big reason why this change was made. So hopefully, Jaren Hall learned you don't need to be a hero on every play and just go play your game. You're talented enough. You have talented players around you. Distribute the ball. Be safe. Get it done.
And ultimately, hopefully, all that thing works out and he gives us an exciting season to finish off on. So that'd be the biggest thing is this whole season. It's been kind of ultimately it's been a disappointment, even though the fact that we have a chance to make playoffs still, it has been disappointing. All the injuries, the ups and downs, of course,
starting the season with however many turnovers a game that were just backbreaking turnovers.
And then now we're back to it again. After having 5-0 stretch, it's just been disappointing. But if he goes in here and we beat this Packers team and he doesn't have to, like I said, light the world on fire, but he looks like a serviceable guy and we feel confident. And then the Seattle and the Rams one of them lose. And we feel like, all right, with Jaren Hall, maybe we beat the Lions. We go into playoffs and we get to see this young guy play there. It brings some more exciting there, but rather unpopular.
I can't sit here and watch the Packers come into US Bank Stadium and win. We already had to watch the Lions win the division on our field. So
yeah, it's a hard situation because Mateo, for me,
and pick 10 gets you nothing extra.
Yeah, unless it will save you capital to move up.
Maybe. Probably, but
probably, yeah. Unless like winning the last,
still, though,
it would. But
still,
the thing is with this, this is where I'm at with it. I would say if we were to win these next 2 games, I'm assuming that we've seen something pretty special in Jaren Hall. Maybe he just didn't make turnovers, was boring, and we won games that way. But if we make playoffs and it's because of him, and a big reason is because of him, maybe that creates enough excitement where we're like, hey, maybe we do have, this is obviously,
and worst case scenario,
the guy or something.
And worst case scenario, it's Desmond Ridder or it's Sam Howell, where it's like, oh, we thought we had the guy, but we don't. But guess what? Now we have a top 5 pick, so we can get a quarterback.
I think Daniels is going to be top.
I think
I think he's going to be top 5. I wouldn't be surprised if he hits. I think he'll be top 5.
Yeah. So that's what I'm.
That's what it sounds like, anyways. We'll see what happens, but I can't imagine it goes down.
Right. Pick 10 doesn't get you Jaden Daniels. I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
Yeah, and maybe though. I mean, there is definitely a better chance, and it would be easier to probably move up for him. But that's the thing. So I mean, if we lose out, it's not going to be the end of the world as far as that goes. But yeah, exactly. I mean, it's possible, and the chances of him being anything like Brock Purdy are extremely slim, but it is possible. Right. And if you got to imagine, like I said, if you beat the Packers and then you beat the Lions and we were able to sneak into playoffs with Jaren Hall, it must mean that we saw some good things from Jaren Hall. More than likely, it would mean that. So it's like if we do make it to play, that's what would have sucked with Nick Mullins or with Josh Dobbs. If we would have made it to playoffs, if we would have rolled with them and made it to playoffs, I'd feel more like it's pointless because we're just going to get bounced out. But with Jaren Hall, you feel like maybe we actually have something in him, and that's the reason why we made playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm just being hopeful.
And again, like I said, worst case scenario, it ends up being like Ritter or Howell, where it's like, oh, we don't have our guy, but we're set up good. We're set up for a good pick next year. So,
and exactly what Dylan said, like, I don't know, making playoffs as Jaren Hall is your quarterback in this scenario we are in right now is a lot better than making quarterback with Mullins or Dobbs, because if again, like, you do feel like you might have something in him. So who knows? Or he might suck and we might lose. So I think that's why I think starting him is the best case scenario, because either he sucks and we know what he is and we get a better draft pick, or he comes in and he looks really good, somehow sneaks into playoffs, and you're like, oh shit, we might have something on our hands with Jaren Hall, but who knows? Hopefully, and then there's always maybe a chance in between where we sneak into playoffs. Jaren Hall looks mediocre, but he doesn't make mistakes. That's why we make it, and we get bounced in week 1. But it gives a better chance to trade with Arizona. Also, Brock Purdy is a great system. I still doubt KOC in his system. Too many stupid play calls. It's fair.
Yeah,
it's fair.
Though, at certain points,
I think KOC the last couple weeks has done pretty damn good.
Of course, other than the
QB sneak thing or whatever
at this point. But I mean, the offense between from the 20 to the 20 has looked pretty solid.
Yeah. Late round quarterbacks hit around the same rate as first round picks.
I mean, obviously, first round picks are going to be better chances, but I mean,
yeah,
he's also not. I mean, there have been.
Like if you were going to say like how many late round quarterbacks compared to first rounders, I guess in whole, but there's way more quarterbacks being picked in round 2nd to 7th compared to first round.
Yeah.
Like in general.
Yeah. Right.
Obviously. I mean, of course there is.
And like if you go down the list of who's starting for all these teams, that'd be an interesting thing to do, actually. Like go down the list, look at the starters and be like, which one of these are going to be long-term starters and which ones are going to be.
Brock Purdy would be a late one. Obviously, we've seen Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, first-round pick, Joe Burrow, first-round pick, Justin Herbert, first-round pick, Lamar Jackson, first-round pick, Josh Allen, first round.
Hurts, which is Jalen Hurts was second. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts was second.
And there's always outliers like Tom Brady.
But that's what I would say. Like anything past first round is kind of an outlier.
It is.
It happens. It happens, but it is like you're talking about like in this year's draft, if 5 players go in the first round, I mean 2 or 3 of them, there's a chance that they could be good in this year's draft. Where after that, there might be 5 players after that, and not one of them is good.
Yeah.
I guess.
And I mean, yeah, like when you look at the majority of the AFC, it's all first round starting quarterbacks. So,
but it's definitely a chance. Like, and I still like the chance that Jaren Hall was going to end up being a good player compared to Dobbs was way higher, because that's one thing you don't see is a guy like a journeyman quarterback who played for 6 different teams and gets passed on and then comes in and ends up being a good player. Like Jaren Hall definitely. And Jaren Hall also has that hype behind him where people were calling him potentially the Brock Purdy of this year's draft. So at least there's a little bit of that in the back of my mind where I'm like, hey, what if these people were right or whatever?
And like, and you even go look at Case Keenum. Like
Geno was a first round pick.
No, he wasn't. He was a second round pick.
Oh, he was a second round pick.
Yeah.
Was he?
Remember there was he was sitting in the green room all night. And
he was a first round. He was an early second round pick.
People thought he was going to be a first round pick, but he went in the second.
Yeah.
Like even look at Case Keenum. Like Case Keenum's a good like spot starter when you need him. Mm-hmm. But the thing with us is he played very Nick Mullins. Like he threw a lot of interceptable balls, but Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs bailed him out a ton that year.
Yeah. So Geno Smith, he's talking about as far as like a journeyman type of quarterback, and that's a good. Yeah, he's a good point. That's a good point. Mm-hmm. He was an earlier pick. But yeah, he was kind of written off as a bust, and he's definitely turned his career around. It's rare, but yeah, that is a good point.
I mean, I still don't think he's like. I mean, I still don't think he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, but he's good enough. Right. He's good enough to keep your team competitive while you search for that next.
Yeah, he's a legit starting quarterback. Unlike if Nick Mullins and Dobbs are good, solid backup quarterbacks, you can have Geno Smith and be like, this guy is a starter in the league type of thing.
He can win us games, keep us
similar. Like Kirk Cousins is like an above average starter.
Yeah,
but
I would put him above Geno Smith for sure.
Yeah, I'd put him above.
But kind of in that same. I mean, most people see him in that same tier. Like
I'd put him above.
He's not going to be this elite like type guy, but if you want to win some games, good enough.
Right. But yeah, do the Vikings just need Seattle or Rams to lose one game? Exactly. So we're hoping that hopefully we see one of them lose their game this week, and then or not this week before we play our game, our late night game. So going into that game, it's literally up to us to win out. Like it'll be we're in control of our own destiny. Jaren Hall is in control of is somewhat control of our destiny if we see Seattle or Rams lose earlier on Sunday. So that would be interesting. I'm hoping they do. So that way it's like, hey, Jaren Hall could win this for us or whatever. Who knows? Or chances are he's not going to look like what we hope he does. Of course not. But there is that chance. He is a question mark. You don't know for sure. And that's what's exciting about it. Yeah. And if we make playoffs with Jaren Hall, you feel like there might be something you have in him, which would be really good if we did. Forever Mahomes, there is a Zach Wilson.
Mahomes is the reason 100%. That Zach Williams was number 2 overall pick. Mahomes is the reason why Caleb Williams is seen the way that he is, because they're kind of like that same big, like huge arm type guys, and that just can make every throw on the field. Like Mahomes is the reason these guys are starting to be drafted higher like that. Everyone wants to find the next Mahomes, the guy that's like comes up through the ranks, and you're like, God, this guy's so much raw ability. If we could harness it all and get him the right coach, he's gonna be amazing.
More than likely, you're going to draft a bust, and more than likely, even for us, like even regardless of how I feel about Kirk Cousins, like regardless of how anyone feels about Kirk Cousins, there's a real possibility that you draft a quarterback early. You might even trade up for a quarterback early, and he puts you in, and he is a lot worse than Kirk Cousins ever was. Like that's a possibility, which sucks because I don't want that. But hey, it's the truth. Forgive me for not being hyped for Hall. Hall had Puka and didn't do anything and didn't win squat even against bums. He did. He has a couple good games. I mean, I know they're matching his matchup against Jordan Love in college. He destroyed him
till he had a concussion.
Yeah, of course.
So let's just hope that doesn't happen again.
Passing for 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing, and a fumble. My prediction. See, I have around 200 yards. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say he's not 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say not a rushing touch, 2 throwing touchdown, no rushing touchdown, 30 yards on the ground, no turnovers.
I think he might be a little bit gun shy about running towards the end zone this time.
But yeah, I don't know. I think if you watch Hall's tape, obviously it's definitely not only to Puka, but he did have Puka there. Honestly, when you watch Hall, he pretty much can do everything you want from your quarterback. The thing with him, though, he doesn't really have any like elite traits, I would say. He just does everything pretty well. But there's quarterback like the Joe Montana's, the Tom Brady's, like those are those type of guys who, you could say Brady has a pretty good arm and stuff like that, but they're like average athletically. They're not the most talented in any area, but it comes down to their freaking mental in their heart and all that kind of shit.
You guys heard it here first. Jaren Hall is the next Tom Brady or Joe Montana.
Same with Brock Purdy's another great example of a player who doesn't have all that kind of stuff, but he just kind of has, I don't know. He has just the it factor, I guess, whatever that is. His rushing touchdown. Who will be behind him, CJ or Brandon Powell?
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins behind him. But yeah, I don't know. To Mateo too. Honestly, there's a chance that there's a more than high. I'm like hyped about Hall, but I'm not saying I'm convinced he's going to be good by any means. I don't know really. I think there's potential. He's shown us things where we can be like, okay, it's possible. He hasn't showed us anything to be like, okay, he's going to suck yet. So I think it's more of like, do I think he's going to be that guy? I just hope so. But I don't know. So hopefully he comes in and he just plays well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's go. That's how it should be every single time.
But all right. Anything else?
I think that's good. Jaren Hall, quarterback of the future, beats the Packers, brings us to the Super Bowl this year, wins it, game over. Russell Wilson 2.0, but better career in his future than Russell Wilson. All that good stuff.
Yeah, stays away from the hip hop. Stays away from Sierra.
Yeah, no Sierra.
Nice Mormon girl.
Yeah, nice Mormon girl. We can feel confident with that.
Jesus. But all right, cool.
Let's go. CJ Hammer, RB1 and FB fullback 1. Also tight end, best hands for a guy named JJ. Let's go. That not named JJ. I 100% agree with you. Hey, what up, Yogi? Yeah, dude. Mateo, you hit this. You have a lot of good takes, but this one is by far the best.
Oh, goodness. But
all right, everybody, we'll hop off here. Let's
right.
go Vikings.
See ya.
Let's go Vikes.